Alright. What the hell is going on, everybody? And welcome back. It's time finally to cast the grand finals of the World Championship. $1 million tournament, $400,000 for first place, only $150,000 for second place. That's right, a $250,000 gap based on who wins this match. In the bottom left side of the map, we've got Clem, looking fantastic for Team Liquid. And representing Basilisk in the top right, it is Seral. He's going to be doing an extractor trick here. He already did one this game, and that's because he's gone for a very early 15 hatchery. It's going to be a 15 hatch, 15 pool build. Now, this is what's so fascinating is really Clem has played standard. 3 command center, most games, very straight up play, but he is looking unstoppable. He's looking so bloody good. He's already defeated Seral once in the tournament to get to this point, and that was rather one-sided. Since that day, Seral has rallied, though. Seral has looked unstoppable against everybody else in the tournament, and he is now going to be bringing out one of his famous 15-15 builds. Normally something that he wrecks Maru with. Didn't use these too much against Clem recently, so I'm curious to see what he does with it, because you got to look into these builds and think, over the last 2 years, Seral has not been able to keep up pace with Clem. If Clem gets into a standard position and is, attacking, which Terran kind of has the attacking advantage against Zerg, picking and choosing where the fights happen, Clem is the player that just is unstoppable. And Seral has very tactically prepared builds every time they've played over the last few years to catch him off. And I've said many times, like, hey, if Seral played every weekly cup and had to play Clem there every week like MaxSpecs does, he wouldn't be able to beat Clem, because he just doesn't have enough secret builds to be beating him in a weekly cup every single week. But Seral saves them up for these big matches. His best build orders, brings them out when it's most important. Now Clem, they're trying to block the gold minerals, I guess, but the Zerglings will come out, push that SCV away. Now, if we think about, just to give you guys a very quick overview, what have Seral used to beat Clem over the last 2 years? Because a lot of you won't remember. I've cast all the matches. I remember very clearly. Some of you might not remember there was a Burrow Roach meta that Seral created. Remember? Do you guys remember? He was Nidus worming and then using tunneling claw roaches. It was just like constant crazy harassment. He was dropping roaches in Clem's base, and then burrowing them when Clem went to respond to it. And he was just basically wrecking Clem with all sorts of Nidus worm and roach surprise things, and combining that with some weird roach timings off these sort of 15-15 openings as well. So that was what he got him with a bunch. He got him with surprise Mutalisks in the final game of their Pigfest series. Which was huge. He occasionally beats him with Ling Bane, but it's usually because he's been able to have a greedy start because Clem's a bit too worried about those other cheesy shenanigans. So for Seral, he wants to set the pace by making Clem nervous here. Now, interestingly, he's not going for a lair this game, just... Oh, no, there we go. Okay, a bit of a later lair than I expected, because normally with a 4-queen opening like this, the moment your 4th queen comes out, you go for the lair. He just got a creep tumor guys. Nice snipe there for Clem. Despite there being multiple queens on the front, he does get that snipe. Did he see the Roach Horn? He did see the Roach Horn start. I'm not sure if he got a chance to click on it, but I think he's already got a good idea of what he's up against. Now, Clem, he's got the second gas coming down. Starport. No, second barracks. Second barracks. Now, I got to give you guys a bit of context. After Seral dominated Maru and Katowice, and I got him on for an interview. You guys can check it out on my YouTube channel, my main channel. It's 90 minutes of the nerdiest StarCraft 2 talk ever with Seral, or something like that is what it's called. And we went over a bunch of his replays and games over the last year or so against Maru. Hold that thought! Oh, Hellions are in. Good Evo Chamber block, though. Great Evo Chamber block, one could even say. And yeah, those queens are going to block that. Nice defense by Seral. Seral's going Overlord speed. Anyway, in that interview, Seral gave away that he wonders why Terrans don't always do the build order that Clem's doing. He said, I don't know why Terran doesn't just always play 3cc 2-on-1. It's safe versus everything. It's such a good build, and it defends all of my cheeky, like, BS attacks. And he immediately, upon saying that, was like, oh. And he kind of sounded frustrated. I was like, what? And he's like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And he kind of like, what? You could tell he immediately regretted oversharing. And I felt kind of bad about that, because my intention in getting players to share their builds and talk about strategy, it's not to lull them into giving away their secrets, but kind of interesting to see. Overlord speed comes in. He does see that it's a 2-on-1. I think he saw the third barracks as well. So he's committing super hard, guys. We're going to have the German taxi. 3 queens are going to come across 9 roaches. Does he keep building roaches is the question. 2 more overlords are about to come out. He's going to be pushing across. Now, with this attack, normally you want to kill them. Because it's Stim Marines, and there's a bunker, I don't think he can break him. He can pick off the depots, and then he can try to spread creep outside the base and drone up behind it. He's going to build 5 more roaches to make sure that he can control this position, and the Marines can't just stim out and kill him. 8 more roaches even. This is a big commitment. This is a very big commitment. This is actually the exact same spawns and matchup of build orders, I believe, that I played against Clem on this map a few months ago on Clem's birthday, right? I'm pretty sure I did a Roach push as well against his 3cc 211. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out! Seral, watch out! Seral sends the drop to the right. Clem anticipates it, stims over there, gets the drop with the queens inside. A blunder from Seral. That was a blunder. He was going back to droning and building evolution chambers as it happened. He must have just glanced at home, but his roaches weren't even with the army. That was a huge mistake. He was waiting to morph Ravagers. He should not have been floating over there. There was no reason to be that risky. On the other hand, what was Clem doing running over there? I think Clem might have realized that he was just going to set up and drop creep, and Clem kind of just had this spidey sense that he could maybe get a massive pick off there. Because this is something you always do at a high level, is you go, oh, you'll be here, you won't be there. There's no way you'll be doing this. There's a good chance you'll be doing that. Seral did not expect him to be out there, but now this is a disaster. This is a disaster. Seral, you need to get out of here, man. He's trying to keep this creep alive as long as possible. He's only got 2 active tumors on the front. He's got to keep spreading those, and he's trying to exert pressure while going double upgrades and droning back up. Problem, he lost so many units. Trading inefficiently here, losing those 3 queens. The whole point of this opening is you have creep blocking his third. You have creep spreading back across the entire map. You could then connect the tips of the creep together. As you guys know, I always talk about that being a kind of meme win condition, because it's actually just such a nightmare for a Terran at this point. He desperately needs medevacs, but he really, if that creep was out, he would probably have to put this on a tech lab, maybe the barracks tech lab, build a Raven, then swap it back, because otherwise he's going to have to use like 20 scans just to clear the creep spread. So this was a really big mistake by Seral to risk going forward. Chat's pointing out, they say he saw the drop lord. Yeah, he definitely saw the drop lord on the left. That's why it's so dangerous moving to the right there. On the other hand, poking forward is Clem. You wouldn't really expect to get anything, because you'd expect the roaches to move forward with the drop. But Clem just poked forward anyway, because Clem has unlimited APM. He's always poking around. He knows he can just stim and run back behind his bunker if he has to. Anyways, Ravager does get focus for a Marine. Good trade there for Clem. Fantastic trade. Obviously, it was only a morphing Ravager, so you get a refund on the upgrade cost. The cancel of the extractor into the rebuild, but then it gets focused down anyway. Clem desperately trying to deny the purple gas. Infestors are coming out now. I think Infestors are the most important unit against Clem, because Clem cannot out-micro Fungal. Once the Fungal lands, it screws you up, and Fungal just makes him be a little bit more cautious in his play. Pig thinks Seral was giving away a secret. It was just 3D chess, says Meow Indeed. Well, the funny thing is these builds are so good for transitioning, and you don't need to go all in. So even though Clem's safe with the build, if that creep got up, I mean, this is such a big turning point in this game, where it feels like now Seral is, I mean, he's down in supply playing Roach Ravager. He's trying to get up to Lurkers and Hive, but he's doing it from very far behind. And oh no, an Infestor goes down! Seral looks for the ambush, but he loses both Fungals. You have to understand, guys, both of those Infestors are now a wasted investment. Double drop in the main base at the same time. There's only a few Roaches there. Oh, Serral's not ready for this. The Marine firepower massively outscales the Roach firepower. Roaches are more of a tanking unit than a damage unit, so when they're outnumbered like this, the Marines can just use that focus fire. Oh, but he's even going to drop on the Queen! Now, Clem's got every advantage in this game. Clem has looked unstoppable in this tournament so far. I do not expect him to have any issues from here. Seral is so far behind. Having lost those Fungals, that was the one thing that was meant to slow down the advance and the harassment. But now Clem is 3-pronged harassing? Oh, get out of here. He's macroing perfectly at the same time. Normally, 3-pronged harassment like this is a choice you have to make, where you can't macro as well, and, you know, you really need to multitask extra hard. For Clem, microing drops in 3 places is just doing what you're doing at every moment of the game. You're always playing this fast anyway. Another Queen gets sniped down. Massive army on the front. Where are the tanks? The tanks are coming. As the tanks get sieged up, if you can deny this purple gas base, that's going to be a disaster for Seral. Lings are worthless here. It's 0-1 Zerglings. And whilst the 2-2 might not be done for the bio yet, man, Seral just does not have the numbers. Even these lurkers could get focused on. Fungal comes down, but you can just see Seral's way too far behind after losing that Dropalord. That investment needed to, at the very least, slow down Clem's third and cover the map in creep. He wasn't able to get it. Seral does not have the numbers, and he cannot compete from here. This is just everything went Clem's way. Seral had a really clever plan here to just completely disrupt Clem's flow and make him play an awkward game one. And it all fell apart so quickly. And of course, casting this after the fact, we get to just rewind, replays, and check. That was about, what, 540? So look at this from Clem's point of view. Clem's like, okay, cool, here comes Roach Bush. He sees the Dropalord, he sees the creep. He knows exactly what Serral's up to. And he's just like, you know what? Let's just go to that right side. Try to slow down your drop from coming forward. And then, yeah. And that's just, it's just a blunder. Seral just should not have been out there, man. I think he just kind of thought Clem was going to have to pull back because the Marines were so damaged, but Roach Speed's not done. He's only got 5 Roaches on the front because 2 of the 7 are morphing into Ravagers. And you can see there, that's just a huge, huge disaster. Because you got to realize, guys, with the 2-1-1, even though he does have a pretty quick third barracks up, it's like he's been building these Marines this whole game. If you can just get enough Roaches to keep him pinned in, that's huge. But you need to do it. Why? Because look at the worker count. 42 against 55. It's a disaster. Like, if you get creep out here, you pick off these depots, you also can drop some creep over here after, drop some creep over here. The whole map's going to be covered in creep, which is such a massive vision, speed, momentum advantage. And you can still drone very hard behind this. Like, you're going to notice, even though it looks very bad right now, look at how quickly Seral drones up. And if he's got creep blocking your third base, he's got a pack of Roach Ravager out here that you kind of have to slowly inch siege tanks out to defend. And he just kind of micros back and forth, uses the queens for transfuse. Like, this is such an elegant build for Seral, but he made a mistake with it. And it's a mistake which Clem punishes very hard. And I want to give equal props on both sides. Number one, Serral's in the military. I do think it's affected his skill level a little bit in this game. Number two, or he's a little off, whatever the excuse is, it's that was not super clean, right? On the other hand, Clem was very, very active and decisive with his movement. Even if his third was delayed, I think he still would have secured it after not too long. So you can see 6 minutes 30, 65 workers is where Seral gets to. And then he'll be taking a 4th base very soon afterwards as well. So you can see the macro transition's quite decent for this. If you delay their third to like 8 minutes, you're well on your way to Hive, you're doing all these other things, you don't lose as much Roach Ravager, you've got 3 more Queens for both anti-air and everything else. It's a completely different game. But from the moment that Overlord got sniped, that was game over. Clem wins game 1. All right, a delectable game 1. Didn't need to do anything special, and you do end up avoiding the disaster that could have happened because that was your map pick. And you always want to win your map pick, especially here in a best of 9 where the early games are always important for momentum, for mentality for both sides, but this is going to be now the strongest Zerg map for Seral. And he's going to be going 16 hatchery. I'd love to just see, yeah, hatch gas pool on this map. I wouldn't mind seeing, I think on this map, Golden Aura, I'd like to see just Ling Bane play. I'd say the one thing, like I said, I'd like to see generally against Clem is, of course, Infestors. Mutalisk play is something Raynor, I think, has looked really good with recently. We'll see if Serral's able to pull out any sort of Mutalisk play. I think it's incredibly dangerous against Clem. I would imagine Serral's more likely to just play a very standard kind of Lingbane Hydra. The only, I think that a thing that I would like to see is quick double upgrades. You know, don't play safe against Hellbat timings or anything like that. Just play a little bit greedy against Clem. I think you got to cut some corners. Or once, you know, if it's too even, or if Clem's even a little ahead in the game, then things get just disgustingly hard for the Zerg. Command Center will be going down on the natural, right on time. Reaper's coming already. He does SCV Scout, so Clem's actually taking a safety precaution this game in case it was a pull first or something like that. And that's interesting because I kind of feel like as Clem, you can just assume it's going to be a hatchery first. I mean, it's Serral's map pick. He's not going to waste an all-in on this map, but Clem decides to play safe, and I guess he can use the SCV to block the third base as well, as that Reaper will arrive behind it. Marine coming in behind this. Notice this depot SCV is going to perfectly time out to start the factory there, and then you'll go for the reactor just afterwards. Now, Ling Speed started before third base, which is interesting. I normally would have expected to see a much quicker third base, but For some reason, Serral's not interested in starting that third hatchery just yet. And good grenade micro that has owned those Zerglings. Good pullback with the weak Zergling for Seral. And he should be able to pull those two. Nice. Even pulls a drone to fight there. I think that might have been a misclick, to be fair, but gets a hit off on the Reaper nonetheless. Third command center goes down right on 2 minutes 40 for Clem. Perfect macro for the French boy. Now, the Queen's going to move out to that third. Should see a drone go out behind it. So he's just waiting for the escort. So he's gone Overlord third Queen before third hatchery. This doesn't change too much, guys. It just allows you to ensure you're getting the hatchery down. I think this is just a reaction in the build order Serral's made to the SCV, saying, I don't want to deal with the Reaper SCV blocking my third, me barely losing the drone. I'm just going to do a more stable build order that you can't interrupt. And he's actually doing it perfectly. His Overlord timings are just right. Beautiful play for Seral. I really like this adjustment because he knows you can't be letting Clem get under your skin. And there, yeah, he's trying to bait him in for the tumor snipe. Clem's so disgustingly good at tumor sniping. It's actually ridiculous. It's actually stupid, man. Clem's Reaper is worth so much more than my Reaper. Can I get one of these in the early game, please? That's got to be the new DLC in 2024, 2025 for StarCraft 2, guys. Pay to get a self-microed Reaper with Clem AI built into it in early game TVZ. You just pay $50 and your Reaper micros itself for the early game. Plus 800 MMR, just like that. It's going to be into Hellion Banshee this time around. We'll see if he goes for Cloak or not. I've always felt like Cloak was one of the worst openings versus Seral and Raynor historically. These guys that are just so clean on their openings. In that, you know, they are so perfect normally at shutting it down. That being said, I was saying, hey, I want to see Quick Double Evo Chamber. Quick Double Evo Chamber is weak to Cloak because your lair is necessarily delayed to start those upgrades. That being said, we don't know what the build order choice really is for Seral in terms of, is it double upgrades? Is it fast lair and Baneling Nest for an early Baneling speed? He does have 4 Zerglings waiting to do a little running by, but Clem's been solid on the defense so far. Depots are building up there, and oh, okay. Feels like this depot is like as late as it could possibly be. Talk about optimized there. Just as he hits 61 supply, it does finish. Banshee's flying forward. Overlord should know about that. I think he saw it fly past. 1 Spore Crawler went down in the third. No lair just yet. No Evo chambers. No lair. No Baneling Nest. Seral has to make his mind up. Lair does come in. Zerglings run in. Ooh, he got a mule. He just got a mule, guys. Can he get an SCV as well? No, he cannot. So he gets one. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay, so 1 SCV and a mule for 4 SCV. For 4 Zerglings is fantastic. He is going to go fast Baneling speed. This does mean his upgrades aren't early, which means he doesn't have that advantage that I was talking about. Banshee comes in, gets 1 drone. Takes a lot of damage, though. Serral's happy to have taken that damage. He's fine with it. A few queens moving out to the left. Should be able to defend this hatchery. Ooh, I say should be, but the Reaper Grenade comes in. Oh, 30 hit points. He's going to have to cancel. Insta-cancel, rebuild. Nice play there for Seral. So where are the 2 Banshees, guys? We've got 1 there, 1 there. He's going to join them up in the middle and maybe hit this base on the right side. Lair's not quite done. There's no Spore Crawler there either. If the Banshees join up with the Hellions, if he can get another cancel on this 4th, this will be big for Clem. Double Evo Chamber's just gone down, whereas 1-1's already started for Clem. 3 queens out in the open. Uh-oh. Run, run, run. Run, 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 run. Oh, the queen with so much energy is about to go down without... She could have maybe transfused these other queens first. You got to keep this base alive. It's worth losing another queen to keep that hatchery alive. But you got to go forward and defend this. If he doesn't get out there, he's going to be in trouble. Overseer's only halfway built. Serral's going to lose the fast 4th. Oh, that is a disaster. Lings do go for the counterattack, though, and I do like that move. This should be massive, dude. There's only 5 Marines. That's tons of Zerglings. He's going to get a bunch of SCV kills here. The Marines... Oh, nice micro. Oh, hold position SCV micro. Hold position SCV... What the fuck? Did he lose anything? Did he lose, like, 1 Marine? I would have lost the whole worker line. F you, Clem. This is not fair. This is every time I watch Clem, I just can't. Like, it just reminds me that I'm never going to be a good Terran player. He's so good. He's so good, man. Dude, did he get the other Banshee out? No, the other Banshee did die as it was trying to escape on the right side. Gets himself a few drones, total of 4 drones, so not a massive amount of worker kills. 4th base and 5th base both have been rebuilt here after the double hatchery cancel. You can see 2-to-1 efficiency for Clem. As Clem goes for a 2nd factory, he's got an armory coming in so he can start 2-2. So he's got a good lead on the upgrades right now. 2nd factory, if he can get his 4th command center, maybe even built on location, that could be nice. It looks very standard for Clem. He's not doing anything too crazy. A couple of slow Banes coming in. Let's look at this from Clem's point of view as they go in. No! Seral doesn't send them in. Sorry, guys, for swapping the camera back and forth. I thought he's waiting to send them in while he's distracting elsewhere. Oh, if he can hit the natural or something with the mass Zergling, that could be nice. If he can defend with the Queen and the Banelings here, good choice for Seral. Gives up the base. Gives up the base. Nice move. That command center's an easy snipe. Hellions. Oh, those Banelings are boom, boom. Boom, boom, Banelings. 12 SCVs go down, not to mention all those Hellions. This hatchery on the left does go down perfectly fine to give that up. 2 tanks on the high ground. You can't engage this unless you have a massive Ling flank, which he did not have, especially with no Baneling speed and no 1-1. More Zerglings coming in. If you can get Lings behind as well, those Marines should be toast. Oh, the 1-1's not done for Seral. The 1-1 not being finished there was a real problem. And then as the extra Marines come in, that ends up being a good fight, I believe, for Clem. Banshee comes in, does get pushed back. Down on the bottom left side, the Marines and the tanks moving forward. Dude, Clem is still pushing with a tiny army over here. But, oh, this position is so gross. Behind the minerals. Look at that. You can't get any surface area. You have to break this with Queens, but there's a bunch of Marines guarding as well. Do you focus the Medivacs or the tanks? He's going to go for the tanks. Nice transfuses. The Lings come in. Notice the tanks are focus fired. Clem is so good at focus firing his tanks on those clumped up Zerglings. Always trying to target on the clumped up units. The Marines as well. He's focusing down every single Zergling and Baneling. This is a disgusting engagement. And that is one of the many reasons why a lot of the top Zergs are addicted to Roach Ravager right now, because there are just positions like this on a lot of the maps where Roach Ravager can easily dislodge that. But if you don't have any Ravagers, what can you do against that position? He had to get rid of it. It was sieging his base. I'm not sure what Seral should have done differently there. I think you just can't let the Terran get sieged in that position to begin with. Because I don't really know if there's a more efficient way to do that. Or maybe he should have just waited for Hydralisks and not fought it. And just tried to hold the high ground. That actually probably was the better call. I think the better call was to put the Queens up here. Hats off to Clem though, dude. Playing like a friggin' beast right now. He truly is just confidently, defending with the bare minimum of units. We've seen him defend with like 1/4 of the Zerg's counterattack twice successfully. And don't get me wrong, we could argue Seral hasn't been perfect on those counterattacks, but Clem is making magic happen right now. Clem still denying creep on this side as well. Seral needs to just A-move that. He needs to get him out of here. Seral's being maybe overly cautious right now, but now as the reinforcements come, it's necessarily cautious. The Widowmines are ready. Watch out. He's retargeting. He retargeted that Widowmine 3 times. That is something you will only see from Clem. And this has been one of the big things, that his Widowmines are much more reliable than a normal human's Widowmines. It's because he retargets them a ridiculous amount to make sure he gets big shots. Tanks on the high ground covering. Great SCV mineral walk. He's stutter-stepping Marines at the same time. Oh, hot pickups there to dodge that Widowmine splash. It only hits the Medivacs, not the Marines that were inside. You'd rather take 40 splash damage on a Medivac than you would on your Marines, obviously, because that's going to kill a lot of damaged Marines if they take 40 damage, whereas that will not be the case for a Medivac. Now, Clem, he's up on 4 bases now. He is a little supply blocked on 156, but he senses that he's got the advantage right now. He wants to keep going. 2-2 finishes the exact same time for both sides. Clem's first slight mistake there, not picking up immediately, but you know what? A lot of the Marines got damaged, but didn't actually die. Spore Crawlers on the main are helping Seral, though. 3 Spore Crawlers there, stopping that drop angle. Seral does need to defend this left base, though. That's his 5th, and as the Marine mine moves down this ramp, Seral is going to need to use these Hydras, these Lings, these Banes to hang on. Widowmine does take out the couple of Lings and Banes. One of the other Widowmines got caught, though, in the Baneling splash damage. Oh, that was really good for Seral. 3 Banelings for 3 Widowmines. Any Zerg will take that trade any day, but there's plenty more Widowmines being built behind this. Remember, if you have 2 factories, 1 tech lab, 1 reactor, you can build so many Widowmines. You can build 9 Widowmines a minute. So if you guys, it's a lot of Terrans, they run out of Widowmines because they don't keep building them that often. But if you actually hold the Widowmine key down nonstop, it's almost impossible for them to run out. Marine mine on the left side still holding the high ground. We've got Zerglings getting ready for another potential Baneling run by on this base. Seral does have a Hive and a Lurker Den, Burrow and +1 range on the way. But you've got to account for the fact that, look at this, 3-3. +3 has been going for a while. +3 armor's on the way now. Oh, Clem's getting pushed back. Clem's getting pushed back. Those Lings, I thought they were going to get a surround there, but not quite. And Clem is able to just get insane value. 2,500 resources more value for him on the ground. Now we've got 8 racks. Has he got extra starports? No, just 2 factories, 8 racks. I think more command centers is what he'll add before he adds any more production, right? He just built a few depots to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked at all in the rest of this game. Marines up top. Oh my gosh. Happy to take a few Marine losses there in order to clear up those Banelings. 3 Marines do get picked up and survive. Banelings in the north coming in. Problem is, nothing else is happening at the same time. Number 1. Number 2, that Widow Mine. Oh, Oh, it's the perfect Widow Mine. Banelings, though. Oh, the tank on the high ground ended up defending them there as well. Marine Mine coming into this base. Hydraling Bane trying to defend as best they can. Siege tank on the high ground is going to be a big old nuisance. Mixing tanks with your mines is so good because their range is just so bloody effective. Single Marine in the north still being a D-bag right now. Clem being such a nuisance, just trying to be annoying with any units he can as he starts his ghost transition. Concussive shells being remembered. Remember when Clem used to get excited in high-profile matches and forget concussive shells? That was a year ago. That never happens anymore. Widow Mine's getting massive splashies all over the army, and he's just baiting the Zerg, Seral, into this death corridor. Clem is saying, come into the corridor of death. Come and meet your maker over here. Oh, I love the unburrow on the Widow Mines. Realizing they weren't going to get good shots there. Didn't have time to retarget them, so he quickly just unburrows them to stop them from firing, moves them back, reburrows them again a second later. That's a Widow Mine you're happy to go off. And he's going to just keep stutter stepping in and out, in and out, in and out. And the Hydraling Bane trying to hang on. Lurker's coming in. Lurker range is almost here. Seral weathering the storm right now. He's got a 6th base almost finished in the north. But his creep spread has been diminished. You know, Seral normally is one who's able to respread creep really well. But Clem has just had his foot on the neck of Seral for so long. Seral's got no room to respread creep. He's got no room to get map control back. Hold that thought. Widow Mine doesn't really get a big hit. Going to lose the tank Widow Mine position. That triple drop has to pull back to the right. These guys pulling back to the left. Seral starting to finally defuse some Widow Mines. Abducts here. Abducts, abducts, abducts. Where are the abducts? Seral missing a golden opportunity. He had a lot of Hydras there. He should have killed both of those medevacs. Seral, though, has been under so much pressure, he's starting to make a few small mistakes. That was a very un-Seral-like mistake. That should have been 2 full medevacs, and this one was going to be full. Infestors are building now. I love the Infestors. Does he have Burrow? Yes, he does. Okay, Seral at least regains control of the left side. He's got a few Lurkers there. I think they're on Hold Fire right now. Got to put those Hold Fire Lurkers off creep, because that is where they are most effective. Now, Clem's only on 4 base this whole time. He hasn't really powered explosively in terms of the economy, right? He's on 4 orbital command centers. Yeah, he's got a 5th base up. That's great. He's starting to build more command centers, but they're not up yet. So he doesn't have unlimited orbitals. Oh, the Liberator gets past in the north. That is annoying. Because you know a single Liberator in your backline can be microed to disgusting amounts of damage by Clem. And he's always watching. He's always watching. He doesn't just queue it in. Oh, Lurkers on the left do get taken down. Or one of them does. Only one. Second one goes down to a Widow Mine as well. Abducts. Where are the Abducts? Where are the Abducts? Where are the Seral missing Abducts again? Big mistake. Big mistake for Seral, guys. I'm not here to make fun of Seral. I'm not here to insult your favorite player. I love Seral. He's my boy. But guys, this is 2 opportunities now to kill medevacs. I'm not saying he would have known which one was full. He might have just abducted an empty medevac. I'd still say killing a medevac for 75 energy beats damaging a bunch of them for 120. It's Clem. He's too good at splitting off the parasitic bomb medevacs. So just doing a parasitic bomb when you've got a pack of Hydras out, you should always be going for the kills. And this is something players were really bad at for a long time. They've recently gotten better at it. I'm kind of surprised in this moment, this finals of this tournament, to see Seral making that mistake. I think it's indicative of the pressure that Clem's putting on him. I think Clem is just keeping him in his corner so much. Seral's not really being able to have much comfort this game, but now he's got Infestors out in the middle of the map. Now he's got his bases going up in the corners. The only problem is that Clem already has 13 ghosts, and he's going lib range, +2 vehicle armor, 4 libs at a time. The command center mass is getting up. We're at 5 orbitals now. So there's a lot of things where Clem's very well set up by the time we get to this stage. Nice parasitic bomb. Gets a few medevac kills there. Ghost getting some good snipes. So just to explain the abduct versus parasitic bomb, anytime you're catching a small section of Terran out that you know you can overwhelm, you always want to drop the abduct as long as you've got enough units to shoot down those medevacs. Because you either stop them from picking up because you're killing the transport so you can surround the ground units, or you're picking up, abducting the full transport and killing it straight away. This Liberator does come in, goes out. Serral's been really good at defending that. Beautiful spready on that. And I love the split on the Zerglings in there. Unfortunately for him, the Widow Mines do drag that. Oh, looks like an Infestor does go down there. Bio in the bottom left will clean up that Lurker. Nice move there by Clem. Top right side, Hatchery did get cancelled there. Hatchery in the bottom left goes down as well. So you're not really able to damage Clem's economy. We got 5 SCVs, that's it. Whereas we just keep losing these 2 corner bases. This is a huge problem. Clem knows. Oh, double snipe on the Vipers. That's a problem. That's a big problem. He just got double sniped on his Vipers. Seral needs to rebuild those. He's got 3 Vipers trying to rebuild, but he doesn't have them right now. He's also only got 3 Infestors right now, and some of them don't even have energy. He's trying to rotate them to this left side of the map where the fighting's happening. We know Clem was trying to float a planetary to the bottom left side. The big problem for Seral right now is he needs to be mining out the corner bases to make up for the fact that Terran is the more efficient player in this scenario. Baneling's going to blow up the planetary. He does get the planetary. Not a bad move at all. Serral's got to quickly remax and pull back, though, because Clem has a fearsome army. Seral, you don't want to be here! Oh, that was a lot of Banelings for a single Ghost. Not a good trade. It was the Hydras that killed the Ghost, by the way. He doesn't have the numbers now. He's going to come up for the Fungal, but there's no numbers here. Seral, this is a bad fight for Seral. Seral sees the opportunity with the Fungal, goes for it, but you need to have at least 10, preferably 15 Banelings when those fights happen, because most of those, the first 5 to 8 Banelings will always get shot down before they connect, and Ling Hydra does not have the damage to get through, especially with the 3-3 upgrade advantage. EMPs on all the Vipers. The Ling's coming in with no Baneling support. Seral should not be fighting here. He is taking a terrible series of engagements. Clem absolutely annihilating him. Ever since he sniped the Vipers, Seral quickly dove in, got a command center, which was a good snipe, but his corner bases were denied the entire time. He didn't pull back far enough, and he didn't get his force together before Clem pushed down. Now, this is, once again, I want to give props. The pace Clem plays at, and the way he's denying corner bases constantly and not letting Seral get established in the macro game. Compare this to any other recent late game we've seen of Seral versus Terran. He always gets so well established in the late game so that he's ahead. He's never having that advantage. He's made a lot of top tier Terrans look really bad in late game recently, and it's almost always because he just gets to the late game in such a better position. I mean, don't get me wrong, he can still drag it out, eke it out, and beat them in late game with efficiency, but we know that against Clem, that's going to be difficult because Clem is just so good at all stages of the game, but especially Clem's putting on that pressure and he's forcing a few uncharacteristic mistakes. One Viper goes down to a snipe. Lovely catch there for Clem. Parasitic Bomb's going to do well on those libs. Great fight for Seral. Does he have the numbers, though? Oh, another Fungal came in there from behind. Nice. But just doesn't have the numbers. And I think at that point, we're going to see 7,000, 8,000 resources behind and units lost. I mean, Clem is just miles ahead. He's got the bottom left established finally. He's doing everything at once. There's no F2 panicking here. He's got his siege units everywhere. He's got, you know, the bio mine trying to hang on in the middle of the map. Parasitic bombs are nice. Trying to fight for map control is Seral. He's definitely doing pretty good fights. And Clem's actually kind of screwing up here. Oh, damn. Clem actually yeah, okay, he did push way too deep in the middle of the map. Seral finds himself with a little bit of an opportunity here. Oh, that Overseer. Why aren't we killing it? Okay, we did kill the Widow Mine on that left side. Infestors on the right side going to be getting sniped. One of those does go down. New Infestor comes on the right side. It gets sniped as well. Double Infestor snipe here for Clem. Clem realizes just got to keep scanning this area, finding those Infestors. Another Viper just got sniped as the bio pulls back. The Hydras try to take in the, take out the libs. They do take out one of them, but Seral's losses are mounting. His supply is so low, he does not have the money to keep up. Another Viper does get sniped. And that's just disgusting. He's lost 5 Vipers, 3 Infestors. So many units this game. Another Infestor trying to flank in from behind. It's almost got Fungal energy. But even if you land the Fungal, what do you have to capitalize? You don't have Banelings. He's going to try and pop it up, throw the Fungal out. Does get the Fungal to land, but there's so many Libs, Ghosts, and Marines. And Clem absolutely smashing it. 2-0 lead for Clem in the finals. All right, going into map 3, he is dominating right now. Clem in the top right side, going for a barracks gas on Ghost River now. Up against yet another 15-15 opening for Seral. So that's going to give Seral a very early, a minute and 2 second spawning pool. He could do some more Roach shenanigans for sure. Now, this map's tough. I do think on this map, it's just another really good one for Terran. Losing Golden Aura is so rough for Seral because, yeah, it's weird because the maps that are good for Zerg, like Golden Aura, Clem has shown he can just kind of switch gears and just turtle it. Not even turtle it out, but like he will just keep you under pressure while macroing up. It used to always feel when Clem was attacking like that in the mid game, it was kind of desperate and he needed to get damage before a certain point. It feels like now Clem is like, yeah, just chilling, bro. Just chilling. You're like, you know, like he doesn't need to do game-ending damage or anything. Now, the tough one on this is that third base is so far away. So if you go 15-15, you need to move a queen out to that third. But by the time you move out to the third, Hellions could be running in. So you need to like usually wall off with like Roach Horn Evo Chamber is what I would do on this map, which is not ideal having to do that so early in the game. Already a Spore Crawler trick, but queens are out. Reaper's in here pretty deep. Not the best queen micro. Could have got an extra hit or two on the Reaper, but you were never going to kill it there, so fair enough. Doesn't matter too much. One queen on the high ground, one on the low ground right now. Third and fourth queens on the way. Serral's building extra overlords and drones. No losses on either side. Just the spore crawler trick, right? The 30 minerals? Wait, why 30? Don't you get most of a refund there if you... Did Seral cancel a cocoon or something? No, because you get a full refund for that. I'm kind of confused at where the 30 mineral losses come from, guys. If you guys know what it is, you guys can explain it to me. An extractor only costs 25. And if you cancel... a spore crawler costs 75. Right. So canceling it, you get 3/4 of 75 back. Oh, he did it. Oh, because he's done the gas cancels as well. The gas cancels cost like 7 each, and then the spore cost. Right. Forgot to factor in the 2 extractor tricks that are built into the build order. Fair enough. Lair and Roach Warren does go down. We've got the second gas coming up. Third gas goes down as well. So yeah, just a 2-base Roach opening here, realizing you can't get that third up too quickly. First Hellion's coming out. Second one's just behind it. This is that point I was saying that I always... it's a real duel getting a third hatchery down, because you want to do that at this point, but also we've got Hellions about to come in, so... Oh, that would be huge! He gets the Reaper, that's massive. Hellions waiting for the potential dive. Serral's here, he's chilling. His queens are in a good enough position. Gonna send that drone out. And behind it, already into second barrack. So once again, it's a 2-1-1. 3cc 2-1-1, guys. And this is perfect against 15-15. And all the weird 2-base Roach bushes. So remember, it's back to what I talked about in that very first game, where Seral gave away this piece of information. He kind of sounded like he regretted it in that interview. And I think, I don't know if Clem studied that or he figured this out on his own, but on both maps we've seen so far that are Terran favored, where he's expecting Seral to pull out some cheeky BS, he's doing this build, the 2-1-1, off of just 2 Hellions, because it's very safe. Oh my gosh, look at how much he's delayed the third. You're kidding me! Tilt. Guys, Seral is so tilted at this point. I guarantee you, Seral literally looks like he's going to punch a baby in the throat. There is no way to describe his rage right now. If he loses that, that's actually... Oh my god. I mean, he should have had it started. I got to... yes, Clem's playing well, but Serral's making mistakes, guys. He is making mistakes. Serral's going to punch a hole through the actual fabric of our universe. Literally, if our world ends tomorrow, we know why. It's because Clem got mad and decided he's going to snap this existence. That is actually insane. He literally will be so mad right now. He needs damage with the Roach Ravager. He cannot let this third get up. So we've got 14 Roaches, 2 Ravagers, 4 more Roaches coming. Roach speed is not quite ready. It's still about 10 seconds away. He needs that, and he needs to overwhelm these Marines. He needs to overwhelm them right now. Clem sees it coming. Here we go. Roach Ravager jumping in on top. Nice hot pickup. You got to get out of here, Clem. Clem doesn't even have a bunker. Oh, Clem not having a bunker is insanely risky, guys. Yeah, I think Clem might have screwed up here. The Roach Ravager should be able to get some good damage. You got to be careful, though, about cornering yourself. I don't know if cornering yourself is a good idea as Seral. I think he's afraid of a tank on the high ground, but the tank is still a while away. The SCVs are going to get pulled in here. Biles coming in, trying to spread those Biles out, but the Marines and the SCVs are coming in together. You're going to kill a lot of the SCVs. He wants to take out the firepower of the Marines if possible. Oh, nice Bile, nice Bile! Does get himself an SCV or two. 14 workers do go down. But you're going to lose your whole army. Are you, though? More units coming in. If you could focus these Marines down, that could be massive. 2 more Marines got left on the left side. Siege tank is out, though. That siege tank is big. These Roaches. Get them out. Oh, Clem with that reactive stim and chases down the 2 weak ones. Now, these 2 queens are here. I don't know why these queens are here. Serral's all in. Serral's just trying to kill him right now. Serral's going for broke. The queens are so good at tanking siege tank shots, but Clem only shot the queens once, and then he immediately retargeted on the Roaches. Clem is so good at targeting his tanks and Widow Mines recently. It's one of the things which makes his units just so much more consistent. Now, Seral needs to go back to economy. He's not going to get anything else done here. That Ravager does go down. Overseer's here. He could take out a tank or 2, but clumping up is so bad against the siege tank shots. Seral gets baited in, and that is so bad because losing all this Roach Ravager means Clem can immediately counterattack. Seral went too deep. He went too hard. And he's now in big doo-doo. By the way, he was building SCVs on his third the whole time. Clem is going to get that Ravager. No, he's not. But look at this. His 1-1 did not start. He had to cancel that, I guess, or never start it. So he's not that far ahead in upgrades. It's just Serral's only on 53 drones, and he's stuck building Mass Roach. This is once again a failed opening, guys. His third got blocked twice. And then his attack just didn't quite get enough damage, man. Serral's kind of dead. Like, I hate to say it so early, but I have to tell you the game as it is. This is not just about building hype, it's about building expectations as well. My job as a commentator is to explain to you how good or bad a situation is. Serral's not dead. Like, obviously there's chances to come back, but against Clem, it's a disastrous position to be in. It is so very bad. Against a normal Terran player, say he's playing the 20th best Terran in the world, I'd say, yeah, Seral might be able to bring this back. Against Clem, very low chance. Dude, if he got that medevac snipe, maybe that would give him a bit of room to climb back into this. But remember, this map's tiny, so when the push comes, it's going to get across this map in about 6 seconds. He's trying to take a 4th base now. Ooh, almost got the medevac, not quite. Another drone gets sniped! Clem! I'm giving Clem a red card once again for excessive use of skill in StarCraft, guys. I don't even know how he's allowed to play in this match. I've given him a red card in pretty much every match he's played in this tournament so far for excessive use of skill, style, and unsportsmanlike abuse of his own abilities, is what I'd like to call this, you know. It's ridiculous. And you know a player's showing you something truly special when, as you're watching, as a seasoned veteran of the game, and no! You cheeky piece of... Oh, you're such an ass, Clem. He did not just do that. He did not just do that. That is actually abuse. That is abuse against the Seral, man. He's someone called Peter. This man's beating a goat unnecessarily. Link speed's on the way, +2 attack, +1 vehicle weapons. I was in the middle of making a point where I was saying, guys, like, I was watching this, when I was first watching this in the green room at the event, I was on the analysis desk during the series. I was literally shouting balance wine at the screen during this game. I remember being like, this can't be fair. Terran not fair. And I immediately realized what I was saying was nonsense. But I was like, Clem not fair. You know, like, I was like, okay, Terran fair, just Clem not fair. I mean, I remember being tilted on Serral's behalf, watching that snipe of that hatchery and actually just being like, that should not be possible. But he's able to do that while macroing flawlessly. Normally, these sort of moves come at some sort of macro cost for a normal Terran, not for Clem. For Clem, they just don't, man. Triple drop in the bottom. He can overwhelm those roaches. This is terrible for Seral. That's terrible, because not only can he kill every roach, he can also kill the hatchery. Notice how he focus fires as well? And just the firepower density of these Marines. So many roach, they're just disappearing. Just picks up and goes in the main. Units lost tab 2,000 in favor of him. He fakes towards the main, redrops, gets a drone, picks up, leaves again without losing a single unit. He is so crisp with his micro. He's got an army on the front ready to clean creep. Units in the main base. Oh, he's going to lose some medevacs now. Did he go a bit too deep, or is it just worth it? It saves a lot of the Marines anyway, so not too bad. Does have a scan in the middle, gets rid of all this front creep spread. Infesta's there. Infesta, Fungal, the Great Equalizer maybe? But he still manages to save one full medevac. Only loses a few units there. 4th command center is blocked by the Zergling. Seral refusing to go down without a fight. We've got Hive finished. Lurkaden on the way. 2-2 upgrades. Hydra upgrades coming in. All of this going on for Seral. The problem is that Roach, Hydra, Lurker is an all-in sort of composition. It's an all-in composition because it doesn't scale that well. You don't have melee upgrades. You don't have banelings, which means it's very hard to deal with ghosts and siege tanks the longer the game goes. You usually need to go broodlords to deal with those units off of this comp, as well as try to add those upgrades for those melee units. Fungals do land across this front line. Pretty nice Fungals. But despite getting the tank, the bio pulls back. The planetary is almost finished. Seral can't keep committing there. And the marine drop comes in on the reverse side once again. Without having these Vipers ready just yet, he's struggling to deal with it. The Queen comes down, but there's only 3 Queens left in this game. Meanwhile, the Roach Hydra down the bottom. Oh, he doesn't have Muscular Augments or 2-2 yet. The bio jumps on top. Seral loses this entire army. I would not hold it against him if he GG'd right here. And that, yeah, is... Yeah, another opening that just goes way too well for Clem. And this all, I told you guys taking the third would be hard. Seral tried to take it so late because he's specifically making adjustments saying, yeah, I'm just not going to try to take it until like I absolutely need to. But that Reaper goes down. To be fair, Seral screwed this up. We've got to be honest here, guys. Like, I'm not going to mince words. That's well done. But you could see he keeps thinking it's done when it's not done. Like here, he could have moved that drone there. So the mistake he made was the drone was off center. So when he told it to build, it had to move there, then build. And it was even decelerating as it was moving. If he'd clicked it straight here, he would have been able to place that before those Hellions got in. I'll show you guys one more time. That was a mistake. It's a small mistake, and even the smallest mistakes get punished. And this is what StarCraft 2 is all about, is it always takes two people for anything to happen in the game, right? Seral making the slightest mistake, but Clem always being on point to punish that slight mistake. And then this was just ridiculous. This was just ridiculous. Like, don't get me wrong, he should have placed that hatchery. He didn't quite have the minerals because he just built a few extra roaches, I believe, when he first arrived there. But that's kind of tragic, right? You see he's at only 200 minerals right now. Yeah, it's just, it's rough, man. I mean, he's super committed to the attack anyway. And there was no bunker at home, so this was kind of best case scenario. I do think Seral was a little bit too paranoid about there being a tank on the high ground. And hats off to Clem for constantly chasing the Overseer away so well. Because his Overseer wasn't really giving him the vision. He didn't know how long that factory was on the tech lab. Whereas against a lesser Terran with this build, normally you get to see exactly what the setup is of the Terran. But look at that. Clem was so on point with this, even kills the Overseer there. Which means you don't even have an Overseer. So if there is a tank, you can't even kill it with biles from the low ground. It's all these little details adding up that is leading to Clem now being in a 3-0 position. He has to morph a new Overseer at home and fly it across the map. Beautiful play by Clem. All right. Going on to post youth. Serral's sticking with the 15-15 surprisingly here. And I've seen a lot of players do 15-15 on this map and like it. I don't know if I like it on this map. It's not terrible. For me, I'm like, okay, cool. I guess you get your two bases up. I guess this third's hard to get to anyway. I don't know. I think it's okay. It's okay. 15-15 is never bad against Terran. Clem in the bottom left side now up 3-0. So this map is interesting in that, I mean, we just played another Clem favored map, so this must be Serral's next pick. So Serral's picked Golden Aura into Post Youth. That's interesting, guys, because I feel like, I don't know about you, don't you guys think Sight Delta is actually, like, pretty good for Zerg vs. Terran? Not amazing. I know people used to think it was bad. I don't know. I quite like Sight Delta. It's not as good for playing a very slow style because your bases are very spread out. You know Clem's going to swarm you with Widow Mines, but like if you've got like a Ling counterattack style, fast double upgrades, crazy Lingbane counterattacks, that's the map to really get some respect out of Clem. Sight Delta. Post Youth is an interesting map because this is definitely like a map that to me often feels like an 8-rack sort of map. So it's probably a Roach Ravager macro into Lingbane Viper map for Seral. One thing I really have been wanting to see more of from players is Lingbane Ultra, like Lingbane Infestor, Ultra, Corruptor as like a fighting composition. But that's only gonna excel on a map like Sight Delta. If you go to late game, that's an amazing comp because the bases are very spread out. On this map, third base here for Clem, fourth base here if we go to late game. Very compact kind of position where the Terran can defend around this ridge line with like tanks and stuff very well. Then take a fifth to the right. And then I guess they're not really exposed until they either take this base or this base. That's when I feel like you can really roll in and blow them up. So because Terran gets 4 or 5 bases, counting the gold base, very easy to defend. It's actually not a bad map for turtling as the Terran player. Likewise, as the Zerg, the middle ridge lines on this map are very scary because like just bio-tank, bio-mine pushes, controlling those areas can get out of control. But like I said, Roach Ravager is going to help you out there. Having Roach Ravager, so at least they can't go Widow Mines, can be fantastic. And the third hatchery is now down. Now this is looking like it might be a... With the fast third hatchery, this might be a Ling opening. This might actually just be upgraded Zerglings, skip the Roaches entirely sort of thing. 4 queens are in the way. Third command center goes down for Clem. Clem's really not having to show anything special right now in terms of build orders. Right? We haven't seen anything. He's just once again, he's like, yep, that's fine. Just going to go 3cc, 2-1-1, man. Get that second barracks. Just 2 Hellions into the stim, the Marines, the Medevacs. Clem has found a build here. And I really wonder if you watched that interview of Seral. And I wonder if Serral's, regrets ever saying that. But honestly, I don't think it really... It's not like just choosing 2-1-1 is that great. It's a solid build order. Like, it is a solid build order. Seral has been making little mistakes, though. I think what's great about this build for Clem, and the reason he's doing it so much, is with his specific micro abilities, it's excellent for him, right? Beyond is the guy who people popularized the 2-on-1, right? Why did he... And he was so good at it because his micro is so friggin' awesome. Clem being a nuisance. Queen does pop out. We should easy spore trick that. Yeah. Has to back off. Overlord sacrifice comes in. Seral's happy to lose that Overlord. We'll see the starport there just starting now, as he knows exactly what he's up against. Now, a lot of the times people like to play a fast carapace against this sort of build. We're going to see Roach Horn into Lair off 2 gases and just lots of drones. Now, Seral's economy is feeling a little bit cleaner this time. I like that Evo chamber. Yeah, good job. Reaper barely survives, by the way. That is a 1 hit point Reaper. We've got 6 queens right now. Lair, 2 more gases, 7 drones coming in. I like the way Clem's exerting a lot of pressure. He's doing a lot of pressure with literally 2 Hellions and a Reaper. He's doing the greediest opening of all time that has no serious pressure till Stim and the Medivacs arrive. And yet he's still keeping Seral very busy, slowing down the creep, looking for pickoffs wherever he can. Third base is now up fully. Double upgrades very early for Seral. Oh my gosh. He might even just go melee carapace, because he's either going all in with Roach Ravager. If he starts 1-1 range carapace, I feel like he's hitting an all in. But this is so greedy for him. Is this too greedy? I worry that the first 2 Medivacs might do a lot of damage. Yeah, okay, he builds 7 Roaches before going upgrades. Okay, yeah. The double Evos are actually unnecessarily early. He can't actually afford to start the upgrades until now, yeah. He had to go 7 Roaches. So 7 Roaches does not defend 16 Marines, though. Seral? He's building 2 more Roaches now. He needs a lot more than that. But Clem comes too close. Clem screws up. That's really good for Seral. It's going to buy him a few seconds here. He's building another drone and 2 more Overlords. Seral needs Roaches. Nothing but Roaches right now. This is Clem we're dealing with. And losing the gold base, not a big surprise there. He quickly builds an evolution chamber. I think that's on purpose to stop the drone from getting focused down, because the evolution chamber has quite a few hit points, but it's also a much cheaper structure than the hatchery. And then he cancels it and builds the hatchery. I need to ask Seral about that. If you guys could remind me after this game, I'm going to send him a message asking if that's just like a hotkey issue where that happens accidentally, or if it's actually on purpose to make sure it can't be focus fired. I'm pretty sure it's on purpose, but you never know. But many times I've asked questions like this and the audience says, how dare you even be so condescending to think he would make a mistake like that? And then I ask and they're like, yeah, it's a mistake. You know, other times I'm convinced that it's on purpose, and you know, they're like, no, it's definitely a mistake this way or that way. You never know. That's pretty nice though. 6 drones. That was actually a really good Reaper Hellion run by. It's not too impactful because Seral can just immediately redrone, and he's got a Hive of the way. He did go 1-1 range carapace. Is he going to play fast lurkers again? I think he might be playing fast lurkers. In that case, Ling Speed's not very important. I do like the 2 Infestors. I actually think more Infestors are better. I will stand by this until I die. I think the Infestor is Clem's weak point as a unit. I think often people are getting Infestors out when they're already kind of on the back foot and they don't have many of them. And if they whiff a single fungal, things go bad. But I really do feel like Clem has to put a different level of attention into his Marines. If he's looking, you know, he has to be watching them much closer to avoid getting fungaled. So I really think fungal's great. I hate the Baneling Nest. I don't like this at all, guys. I would have loved melee carapace. I think going +1 range was super unnecessary here. If we're just going to transition Ling Bane off Roach Ravager, I get we've gone to 20 Roaches. You kind of want to get +1 range for them. But for me, I think the melee carapace is actually way more important, because otherwise, if you end up with like +1 melee against +3 armor for a little bit of time, that can be very awkward. Like, your Lings just won't be doing damage. So, personally, that's what I prefer. Good fungal. Does he need to chain it? Still 2 Marines get out of there because he doesn't want to waste the second fungal. But at least you trap like 5-6 Marines. You manage to take him down. Serral's finally having his first good early game in the entire series. He's on a low work account, though. Oh, Seral! Clem! This is my commentary now. Seral! Clem! Seral, Clem. He's not been making any mistakes, Clem. Like, that was an almost mistake, but nope, gets the medevac out, doesn't lose anything. 2 Vipers are out, Ultra Caverns coming in. Serral's been sitting on a low work account for so long. He needs to actually go kill Clem at max out. So I think what we should be seeing from Seral is a 4 Blinding Cloud timing. So basically, check this out, guys. We've got 2 Vipers. You get 200 energy. You max out on Ling Bane now. Don't bother with Ultra Tech. You're not going to have Chitinous Plating and timing. You want to hit a 1-2 Adrenal Gland Ling Bane Viper timing with your 20 Roach Ravager. And you want at the very least deny the gold base, but preferably overwhelm. I would say attack from the right with a fair number of units as well as the left. So you're properly coming with the Vipers from this right side as well. And you're just blinding, clouding, or abducting all the tanks, blowing up the planetary and doing huge damage. Oh, another Infestor just died, guys. Clem just ran in and just clicked on the Infestor. By the way, I'm pretty sure the Infestor had enough energy to cast Fungal. That's a super risky move for Clem, but it's just him being a cheeky bugger. He's got momentum, so he's like, I'm just going to hope that you're not looking. And that's the sort of thing that tilts Seral. Seral has admitted many times that nothing tilts him more than people gambling. He hates when people gamble against him. It frustrates him when they just kind of hope he's not looking. Oh, look at that. Is he repairing it? He's repairing through the Parasitic Bomb. He just repaired through the Parasitic Bomb. Both medevacs survive, and he just wasted all of his Blinding Cloud energy. Seral should be hitting a maxed out timing to kill Clem right now. He should be killing him right now. He's got momentum. He's got equal army supply. He's got a massive Banelings, but he's wasting his energy. Seral, I don't think he realizes just how much of a good position he had off this opening. I really feel like if he had swarmed from both sides and spammed Blinding Clouds across this army, he could have broken this position. But now he's just trying to pick at him. Okay, so Serral's playing classic Seral late game, which is I'm going to chip away at you and beat you with efficiency in the long run. Oh, if he can get the command center. Oh, 20 roaches go down for damaging a command center. Not a great play for Seral. He's going to go for a drop in the main base. That could be good, but he's got his army on this side needs to do something at the same time. If he can take out a bunch of tanks, that'd be great. Unfortunately, his Vipers aren't on the front. They're close. And, okay. Wait, how does Clem know about this? How does Clem know about this drop, guys? How did Clem know about this drop? I don't know how Clem knew about that drop. Did he see the Overlords? He must have scanned them. He must have scanned them because he's moved a whole squad up there, so the drop's not going to do anything other than forcing Clem to respond. I need to check that part of the replay. You guys are going to need to remind me at the end of this replay. 10 minutes. Go back and check 10 minutes drop. Because that gave it away. Now he's going to come back in. Go for it. Go for it. He moved out of position. Clem moved out of position, but Serral's sitting in vision right now. Seral with a big blunder there. Gives him about 5 extra seconds to prepare, and that's all he needs. He's back up there. Some of the drops aren't going to be able to unload. The ones that do unload do get a little bit of damage. It's a cheap move. It's a very cheap move. He's getting ghost kills for Zerglings. Blinding Cloud on the front line is massive. Does he have enough Banelings, though? He doesn't have enough Banelings to kill the base. Oh, man, great Baneling hits, though. He denies the base on the top left, gets 21 SCVs. If he had a few more Lings Banes and he could kill this other command center and this one, that would have been a resounding victory. But Serral's been very inefficient. He's at half the efficiency right now. I truly feel that Seral missed his timing attack, guys. So, right now, Serral's just wasted a lot of money. And remember, he was on a low work account, 73 drones. So the reason I'm hitting this, you need to hit a timing attack, is because Seral stayed on a low work account. If Seral went to 85, 90 drones like Raynor would have, he could have afforded to play the slower, longer game. But because Seral, I think, might be in a little bit of a reactive mindset right now, where he's thinking, I need to build a lot of army to stop you from killing me. And then, oh, the fungal comes in too late again, and he gets sniped by a ghost as well. The Infestor goes down. Biles do take out a couple of medevacs. At least that's something finally going Serral's way. Seral does not have a Nidus Worm. He's on Ultra Lingbane Infestor Viper. It's not a bad army, but look at this. Clem now has a rock-solid position on this side. Seral needs to rotate on the south, abduct these tanks, blow up these command centers. If he needs to, and actually even just a mass Ling run by down there would be really effective. That's what Raynor does better than anyone at this stage of the game, is just run tons of Lings in and find all the exposed tanks. If he could do that and then come in the top side with a bunch of Abducts or Blinding Clouds, blow the planetary up, kill some tanks. But Serral's a bit one-directional right now. He really needs to find a way, and I think he's just like, look, there's no easy attack angle. And he doesn't see everything we see, so it's easy for me to tell you how he should attack. It's very hard for him to figure this out in real time, right, guys? Because anytime he runs forward, he could get his spellcasters sniped. It's hard for him to get information on exactly what's going on. Oh, the scan. Scan catches the Infestor. That's unfortunate. 2 more Infestors building. Double Spire on the way for Seral right now. How many tanks are there? 12 siege tanks. Clem does a very good job of not overcommitting to siege tanks. He builds a good number, doesn't overcommit. Another Infestor gets taken out. Oh, this is a disaster. He just lost all of his Infestors. Now he doesn't have any real anti-air. Oh, Clem not looking. That's a nice move for Seral. Catches Clem not looking, but the tanks behind it do punish Seral a little bit. Units lost tab is still 7,800 for Clem, 13,100 for Seral. Not quite 2-1, but still very good for Clem overall. Clem's only on 63 workers, but that's fine. He's on 7 orbitals. This is a huge problem. Clem's raced to late game this time. He's about to build an 8th orbital. He's in the late game setup. He's got building armor, +2 vehicle weapons, +3 infantry armor. He does need some more starports if he wants to add liberators would be nice. He's adding blue flame. There's just so many things going well for Clem in this game. Now, Serral's going to come forward and start looking for some pickoffs, but he's got to be careful. His Vipers are out in the open. Do not get these Viper snipes. Oh, no. He's going to lose. He's going to lose an Infestor there. Another Infestor gets sniped. Clem's been so good at scanning these spellcasters, picking them off. One ghost does go down, but lots of tank shots on the Ling Bane. And Seral is not really finding a way in at this point. This right side, he has to go to this right side. There's a lot of tanks there, but he's got to go to that right side. I don't think he can be beating Clem in front-on fights on this map architecture. And look at this. Clem is slowly creeping forward. He's on 15 tanks now. Broodlord swap would actually be amazing. But he's just so far away from that Broodlord swap. He also went double air upgrades rather than Greater Spire, which I heavily disagree with. I heavily disagree with that. You're always going to need Greater Spire before you use the Spire anyway. So you might as well go Greater Spire before going double upgrades pretty much always. Oof. Do we see any Hellbats being mixed in? Not really. It's interesting. He goes Blue Flame, I guess in case there is a mass link swap. So now Serral's going for a counterattack. It's not many Zerglings. He gets a turret and a siege tank for that. Super worth. Zerglings are really cheap, guys. They're very cheap units. He's going to get a few SCVs as well. Especially if he burrowed a few, like that would have been great. But I want to see like 80 Zerglings and Overseers coming from that side as well, you know. I want to see a Viper on that side doing abducts. Parasitic bombs on the Medivacs. Nice. But look how quickly he just spreads. Clem is so calm against this stuff. And he's actually got the entire center control. We need a Greater Spire to get rid of this. Nidus Worm's only now coming down. The Spire is not turned into a Greater Spire just yet. Seral doesn't really have a play except going around the flanks. Because of this commitment in the center, Seral needs to give up the gold base, bust the top left, move around the bottom right, run by the rally point. The problem is that when your opponent has center control, he can so quickly move back to respond, and you need to move so far around this center area. Breaking this middle is not just necessary. I mean, it's not just a bonus thing, it's necessary, it's essential. If your opponent has center control this deep on this map, you're screwed. Like, you need to break that, or you need to bust his flanks immediately. And right now, Clem's the one who's just slowly, methodically Maruing Seral in this game. That's right, guys. Maruing, it's a verb now. It's oh my gosh! In fungal infestor, but there's nothing to capitalize. He EMP'd all the Vipers. No parasitic bombs or abducts were able to go down. Beautiful fungal, but beautiful counter EMPs from Clem. Clem stops the spellcasters from landing the combo there, the Wombo combo. Ultra Baneling Hydra on the left side, not able to do anything. At this stage in the game, guys, Banelings are worthless outside of ambushing the ghosts in the open. Why? There's 16 siege tanks and planetaries everywhere, so they can't do anything. The Greater Spire's only now started. We needed these great... The Broodlords could easily clear this middle area because you can threaten the flanks and just poke the middle with like 5-6 Broodlords, but he's just taking a bit too long to get there. Trading an Ultra for a few siege tanks, not a bad move for Seral, but this is definitely a tough one. I think this is the sort of game state where Dark probably would have made like 20 Swarm Hosts to start just throwing free units at Clem, and then he'd probably lose because Clem would just push. If you went 20 Swarm Hosts right now, Clem would just shove, and you wouldn't be able to defend it because the Swarm Host wastes too much supply. That's why Serral's not doing that, in case you're wondering. It's at a lower level. If your opponent's super turtling and playing very slow like Clem is, definitely Swarm Hosts are a good choice. But at very, very high level, a guy like Clem, he will just shove right through your bases and your income and your production the moment he kills a Locust Wave. +3 vehicle weapons, +2 vehicle armor. And Clem's win condition, in case you guys are wondering, why am I not talking about that? I feel like you guys know, but maybe you don't. Maybe you're a new player. He just needs to mine close to half of the map. If he can, like Serral's stealing a bit of resources down here, but Clem's denying this base. He's going to try and deny this base here as well. If he denies that top left base, he might even get more than half of the mining on this map. And you're way more efficient. You're 10,000 resources more efficient in units lost. Just hold the middle and just don't take any huge risks. Don't charge on creep, because if you do that, your army is much slower to reproduce than the Zerg army. You've only got 8 barracks, 4 factories, 1 starport. Whereas the Zerg right now has 103 lava that could immediately turn into 206 Zerglings on a Remax, right? So you need to just play safe, play careful, let that efficiency win you the game over time. Now, the fact that he's on 17 siege tanks and broodlords have only hit the field about 5 minutes later is a big mistake for Seral. Seral has a giant bank, but he was really relying on getting a lot more done with low attack, and he missed his timings or wasn't able to find that damage earlier in the game. And now he finds himself going to broodlords. Problem is, there's 24 ghosts, there's Vikings. I mean, Clem has some of the best ghost micro in the game. Oh, he EMPs the Vipers. And we've only got one Infester. You need like 8 Infestors to guard from Fungal. He's only got one, so these broodlords cannot fight it. He needs to rely on Ling Bane to defend from the ghost. And look at that, sniping Overseers, sniping Overlords. Clem continues to just find absolutely ridiculous value. He's back above 2-1 in the units lost trading. And he's coming forward. He's looking for snipey snipes. Gets another Infester. Okay, Seral needs to fix this. Seral, you can't be letting him bully you like this. You need your Ling Bane to come forward and scare those ghosts back. But right now, look at this. The whole army from Clem's in the center. This is where we need to be hitting those flanks. But there's still tanks and planetaries there, which makes it, you know, easier said than done. It's mostly Baneling Hydra Ultra. All the Ultras are now gone, actually. This hatchery is going to go down as well. I mean, Seral is losing his income. He's trying to build 10 Infestors with Neuroparasite. Parasite. He's realized now, wait, I need Infestors to guard my Broodlords from ghosts. Why did he not already have these Infestors? The moment you're making Broodlords, you know you're going to be in a standoff with ghosts where you need to rotate those Infestors forward and throw those zoning Fungals out. He's going to get one Fungal there. You see the Fungal's very nice, but he just got EMP'd on that right side. Where's the extra Infestors? They're just popping out now. Broodlords are starting to get sniped. He does pretty well there. Thankfully, the tanks were friendly firing a little bit as well. Infestors, nice Fungals. Unfortunately, his Broodlords have pulled a bit too far back, so they're not able to help capitalize on that. These guys are getting taken out. The Ghosts are just clearing so many of these Infestors. At the same time, the bottom side, random 2 siege tanks killing this base. More Ghosts are building. He's also having time to build Thors. Thors counter Broodlords. He didn't even have the counter ready to the Broodlords, but Seral is under so much pressure, and he's kind of flailing around right now. And I think Clem, you're starting to see the confidence of Clem, the methodical precision of him, both in the late game, but also in the early game, just non-stop aggression. It's starting to add up. Seral is starting to make mistakes, and it's because Clem is presenting him with something he hasn't experienced in a long time, and that is a sense of helplessness in the early game aggression getting swamped, but also in the late game. Infestors on the right! Infestors on the right! Spread him out! Spread him, spread him, spread him, spread him! Oh my god, so many ghosts on the left as well. The Broodlord's getting caught unsupported. And this is a very un-Seral-like scenario, to get your Broodlords caught out in the open like that, with no Infestor support, and then only Infestors on the right, not on the left. The moment he attacked with those Broodlords, he should have known in his head, I've got 5 seconds before the ghosts get over here, throw a few volleys, and then pull back. You need to do it like hit and run tactics, but Serral's getting himself caught out. He's trying to build 7 more Corruptors so he can make more Broodlords here. Seral is in big trouble right now. Hatchery's coming up here as well. People are balance winding in the Twitch chat. They nerfed Banelings 3 times in 2 years. 3 times? Or like the damage versus armored unit nerfs. Yeah. The funny thing is, it's the map pool is the main reason that's been the big shift in power in this matchup. Despite that, the current map pool compared to last season's is way better for TVZ for sure. Oh, nice Fungal for Seral actually on the medevac, but he will take out this base, finally getting a bit of damage, but it's not a very important base, and it doesn't actually kill much, and oh, he's getting all of his Vipers sniped as well. Dude, this is rough. Those ghosts look like that were a bit of a mistake there for Clem. Ling's on the bottom right. Nice Ling move on the siege tanks, but the planetary will defend itself, and it's still center control is so deep. Overlord's trying to come out of dying. I mean, Seral is just... He's still got this huge problem here. The command center on the left immediately gets retaken. Units lost tab. Double the efficiency for Clem the entire game long. This is absolutely disgusting. Overseers hanging out en masse. All right, sniping that queen would be good. Ling Hydra infested Broodlord on the left. Serral's kind of low on gas as well, guys. Even though he's got a big mineral bank, he's gonna have to start building queens to like try and transfuse his energy units or something, which is always a bit of a desperate thing that you have to do sometimes. Oh, I like the Fungal there. Infestor comes forward. Nice move with the Broodlords taking out a tank. Gets himself a ghost or 2 as well. Nice fungals. Oh, good fungal micro. But the ghost on the right. The ghost on the right. Oh, Seral standing and fighting. He finally lands a fungal on the right, but almost all of his broodlords are dead already. Massling Hydra rolls in as well. Seral looking a little frustrated. I've got to admit here, he does take out a lot of those units, but he loses even more in the process. And this is just disgusting. I mean, we've never seen someone so calmly, patiently, and methodically obliterate Seral in the late game. But one has to realize, post-youth, we've talked about the map architecture being good for turtling. These ridge lines in the middle, I mean, the moment Clem set up shop and there was no great Aspire to challenge him, like, Seral has not been prepared for this stage of the game. We have seen Seral fall behind in this matchup and just patiently wait for Terran to make mistakes so many times, making crazy comebacks over the last few years. Clem's not making those mistakes. Clem's not getting overeager and shoving his whole army on creep the way like Beyond and a few other Terrans sometimes make that error, I should say. Lingbane Hydra trying to roll over the Thors right now. Ah, the pullback on the Ghost Micro is amazing. This is something Clem does just better than anyone. He just pulls back his Ghost, doesn't let them land. Too many spellcasters keep getting left behind and sniped as well. Oof. Oh, big fungal comes forward. Oh, big fungal on the Ghost Matavac. Blinding Cloud on the tanks and the Thors. Hot diddly damn. Hot diddly damn. Ghost doing very well as well. Snipes on those Overseers on the left side. Infestors on the right side. Lingbane Hydra up there. Oh, here we go. Ghosts, Thors, Liberators coming in forwards. And it just feels like Serral's got so little room. He's out of lava. Guys, he's out of lava. Oh my gosh, he's trying to build queens right now. He doesn't even have the lava to reproduce Zerglings. He really needs to be able to reswarm Zerglings right now. Oh no. Oh my gosh. You're gonna get banned if you don't stop balance whining, guy in the chat. Take your negativity elsewhere. My Twitch chat's not the place for it. Lingbane Hydra trying to pull back. He's up against the wall. He's building 8 ultras to spend his lava because he doesn't have the lava right now. The only way he can spend his money to remax is on ultras. This is a disaster. He's going into a guy who has 16 ghosts and he's building ultras out of desperation because he doesn't have enough lava. Oh, this is such a huge issue. This is such a huge issue. Oh no. I mean, ultras aren't terrible, but against this Lib Ghost, yeah, they are. That's the last thing you'd want against Liberator Ghost. He has to go for it. Seral has to bust this right here, right now. Coming in with a beautiful angle of units. He's got Microbial Shrouds going down, Blinding Clouds. But oh my lord, that is just way too much Terran. Dare I look at the units lost tab at the end of this game. 62,000 to 36,000. Absolutely brutal destruction by Clem. Did say I'd check it 10 minutes. How did he know about the drop? He must have just scanned it. Yeah, what? I guess Seral just does this every game. Seral, this is literally, he looked at how Seral plays and he's like, every game when Seral's maxed, he does a big bust on the front and he does a big drop in the back. He had no vision of the Overlord drop at all. He just knew at that timing exactly what was going to happen. Yeah, and because if you think about it, Seral's done this multiple times. Right? Seral has done this so many times. He's done it versus Maru a bunch of times in this tournament previously. And of course, you're going to watch all of his previous games. You're going to see patterns. And he's like, yeah, man, about 10 minutes, you got to be ready for that drop in the main. Funny thing is, the drop pulled back and he just pulled away. And then Seral kind of screwed up a little bit, came back and sat in vision, gave him a few seconds to prepare. And then he comes in and he gets a little bit of damage anyway. But yeah, it's nowhere near the massive distraction that he was looking for, right? Beautiful play by Clem, man. Beautiful play. You can also see the Overseer. Oh, right. Also, the Overseer. Okay, that's a good point, because the Overseer also does kind of look like he's going to do a Nidus Worm, right? So he sees that, and he's probably just thinking about Nidus Worm. Oh, so it could just be a reaction to the Overseer. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, he's like, oh, he's going to Nidus Worm me. Let's move up there and be ready for the Nidus Worm. Yeah, okay, good point, chat. Very good point. All right. It's his last chance to fight back. He's going to be going for a 16 hatchery in the bottom right side. Basilisks, Seral, Getting absolutely mauled, and that last game's got to be demotivating. When the Terran gets that ridge line outside your base, they've got that center control, you're screwed. Because if you think about it, we talk about Oceanborn, this map being good, where if Terran takes this area here, it's kind of the same thing. But I mean, this is nowhere near as oppressive. That last game was as if Clem had this area sieged up, right? Just outside the Zerg base. Like, that was disgusting. The moment that got set up, it was just kind of lights out for Seral. I mean, you're not going to be fighting back from that position, and things went from bad to worse as the hatcheries started getting sniped, so he couldn't get his lava count up. He's losing lava and creep and hatcheries, taking bad fights everywhere. Clem just had way too much control, and I think maybe Seral showing a little bit too much respect for Clem here. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think Seral had a really good start in that last game, and it was out of 4 games so far, it was the first game Seral's had a good start. And I think he had an opportunity, but he needs more than just an opportunity. He needs to actually put it in the ground. He needs to seal the deal. He needs to put Clem down. I do think a Blinding Cloud timing could have been very effective in that last game. Clem was tank marine focused. I think he's harder to kill actually when he's Widow Mine focused, because those Widow Mines just make it so hard to jump on top. But I feel like that first Viper timing, when they don't have Ghosts yet, Clem's got a lot of siege tanks on the front that he's relying on. Blinding Clouds and Abducts can ruin them. Could have been massive. Oh, one Zergling, not bad. Queen does come out though. Clem has to back away. Third Queen's already started up. Clem is blocking the third base once again. But he does pull the SCV away now at this point. And we are going to see a drone head to the low ground. Let's see. Is the tail of the delayed third going to continue? Seral keeping that drone behind that Queen quite nicely so far. Queen still continuing forwards. He's got one on the high ground ready in case the Reaper rotates. And now you can see he's rotating those Queens. Really nice micro on both sides here. I like the way the drone keeps baiting the Reaper in. And he will now finally get that hatchery up and placed behind this third command center into Starport. So we're not worried about the 15-15 this time around, because it is a hatch gas pool going back into the Hellion Banshee play by the looks of it for Clem. He could go for a Viking or a Liberator if he wants to, but I think the Banshee is usually something that he's a bit more focused on, and if you can keep those Banshees alive, very good for stopping Ling counterattacks. Even if you don't find massive damage on the front, they will be a nuisance the longer the game goes. Couple Hellions coming forward right now. And we're going to have the moment of truth. Banshee it is. All right. You know what's crazy, guys, is Clem really hasn't shown that much range as a player. He hasn't had to show an 8 racks or anything like that just yet. And it's kind of crazy how standard and straight up Clem's players. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he's playing excellently. But I think there is still one problem with Clem's play. It's the lack of really committed build orders. It's the fact that he is such a normie in his builds, right? Clem truly is like him and MaxPex as well to a certain extent. They love to just play standard and just try to get better than everyone else. And it really feels like these are guys who just want to play StarCraft physically better than their opponents. Like standard, solid play. They want to outplay their opponents. Not with the planning, not with the build orders, not with the mind games, but I just want to play better StarCraft than you. And I got to say, usually that's a disadvantage. He's so good that he's able to do it. He's able to pull this off. But it definitely, like the fact that he hasn't mixed in any scary 8-racks attacks. Like, Seral barely needs to scout in this series, right? I mean, see if it's Banshee or see if it's a 2-1-1. Other than that, what else is he scouting for? Clem's doing the same thing every game, right? He's just going to play the same sort of setup. He's going to get second factory, fourth command center, go up to 8 barracks only after both of those. And then he's just going to keep harassing you, doing little pokes here and there, slowly expanding behind it, mass expanding, adding the orbitals. Like, there's no spice to Clem's build choices. All the spice, all the absolutely ridiculously overwhelming play, it comes from his tactics, his speed, his micro. He's just poking it out, his activity level. It feels like he's able to just overwhelm you with the very basics. Clem is the Sean Strickland of Terran right now. Definitely not in interviews. Hasn't said anything edgy ever once, but 9 queens are here. Baiting speed's on the way. Just kind of overwhelms you with that very, very generic TVZ stuff. He's looking like the Chuck Norris of StarCraft 2. Well, I gotta say, guys, he's one roundhouse kick away from sending a goat into the stratosphere. One roundhouse kick away. Banshee's gonna get in the main base. Queens are there. Oh! Good micro with the queens for Seral. Okay, he's bringing a third queen up. 2 queens on the low ground as well. Hellions are rotating in from there. These queens are a little out of position right now, but he should have plenty of Zerglings to defend. Banshee's gonna rotate back as well. 5 barracks are up. Double upgrades are on the way. Siege tanks are building as well. Hellions continuing to poke in, get creep tumors here or there. Nothing too crazy. Hasn't really done any big damage. Serral's defense has been, yeah, perfect. He's on 78 workers already. Wow, dude. This is 2 games in a row where Serral's had an exceptional opening. This is such a good opening. Infestation pets on the way at 6.5 minutes. Fully mining 4th base. I mean, yeah, I'm loving it. I'd love to see Seral try and set up a big Ling Bane counterattack on this base over here. Looks like the Banshees came in and got 2 drones on the edge before backing away. It's always annoying on this map. Defending here, here, and over here with those queens. 5th base is now building. Marine tank coming forward. 25 Zerglings, 7 Banelings. 24 more Zerglings are building. Banelings have Baneling speed ready. He's ready for a potential ambush. I'd go for it right now. Go, 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 go! He at least forces the siege up. Ah, he has to cancel those Banelings just before they finish morphing, though. But, oh, and Clem using the medevac to pick up these tanks, move them forward. He's got 1 tank really far back in reserve. The one in the front will go down, though. Nice snipe there for Seral. Grabs the tank and does pull back. Hive started. 1-1 upgrades almost finished for both sides. It's about to finish for Clem, though, about 25-30 seconds earlier. That will give him opportunities. Hellions are on the counterattack, not to mention the Marine tank there. 4th command center, 2nd factory. As I said, guys, no real surprises in terms of what Clem's going to be doing in these games. Serral's going to come with a surround. Lings get on top. Banelings get on top. Clinical cleanup for Seral. He's trying. We shouldn't be letting him redrop. That's silly. Seral, why are you pulling back? There's no reason to be letting him redrop here. That's a massive mistake. Because now he can just heal and stim back in. Okay. Oh, but if we get him not looking... Okay, we did take out a few Marines there, but Seral should be chasing that drop with half of this army. The other half should be moving south, but he's a little bit slow to do that, and because of that, his 5th base is under assault. He does not have enough transfusers, I don't think. Okay, just barely. Overseer's morphing down here as well. Those Banshees being a big annoyance this game, and it seems like the units lost tab is now looking pretty good for Seral, even though it's behind for him. I actually think he's in a great spot. 83 drones, Burrow, 2-2 upgrades, 4 more drones. We should be seeing Adrenal Glands start up. He's got 200 gas. Adrenal Glands and Vipers are essential. How many gases does Seral have? He's only on 5 gases. I actually think a 6th one would really help him out with how fast that hive is and how many Banelings he's been making. Clem here getting jumped on both sides. Serral's doing a pretty good job. If he can respread creep on both sides as well, that'd be great. But I'd love to see him hound these drops a bit more and stop them re-dropping. Notice how he just keeps pulling back. He keeps resetting to a very defensive stance, and that's just unnecessary. Chase the drops. Keep Clem busy. Feels like he's kind of accepting his position as the receiver of Clem's aggression, and that's never something you want to do because Clem is just so very good if he's the one dictating the pace. I'd love to see the Spore Crawler move over to that right side as well. A few more spores to limit those drops can be amazing. Big Tank Marine Mine Push on the left side, and this is where we're going to see a big test for Seral. How does he deal with this push? He's going to roll a few Banelings in to start. Doesn't quite get that front Widow Mine, which is a nuisance. 1 Baneling does detonate. Takes off the Widow Mine. The Marines here are a big annoyance. He's going to have to swing in around that north, bring these Lings in from this area, and flank on those tanks and mines. Serral's hatchery getting low. It goes down! Seral loses the hatchery. Now he chooses to go for the break, but he clumped his units right before he went for it. Clem with a fantastic position. Does lose the tank, but getting the base snipe. Big mistake for Seral, in my opinion. I really think that was unnecessary, losing that hatchery, because you gotta realize Clem's not that committed. He's building a 5th command center. He's up on 8 racks. 2-2 upgrades are about to finish. He's about to start 3-3 pretty quickly. This is just, it feels like Clem in the advanced stage, pushing forward. Banelings rolling in. Nice move with the Banes. Blinding Cloud. Very sexy Blinding Cloud. Lings will clear most of this up. So many Widow Mines, though. Youch. A lot of these Overseers do take some big hits. Lingbane Viper's going to pull away. 2nd Viper's about to come out. Hydroden as well. On the south side, Marines are waiting. North side, Marines in the drop ready as well. 85 workers up for Seral. 78 for Clem. But Clem's getting himself established. And more importantly than that, he's trading well. 2,000 resource lost advantage. And that is only growing with every engagement that happens. Marine Marauder Hellbat in the center. No space for those Hellbats in there. Oh, actually, he does have enough space to save 1 of the Hellbats. Drop in the bottom, rotating. Drop in the top, rotating. He never got the Spore Crawlers on this angle. And Clem finds himself a hole. When you're a bunch of randy Marines out here in this Zerg-invested ocean planet, I gotta tell you guys, any opening starts to look attractive. Marine mine on the south side, no chance for a 6th base for Seral. He's stuck on 5 bases. That's kind of standard on this map to be stuck on 5 bases a little bit. Seral needs to find a way out of his cage right now. He's trapped in his corner. He can't be losing another hatchery. Oh my gosh, that Widow Mine was massive. Parasitic bombs do go down in the medevacs, but it's not enough to kill them. They're both going to barely survive. They'll be damaged, but they will not be dead. Widow Mine down there does get defused in the top side as well. Seral just lost his 5th base twice. Guys, being stuck on 5 base doesn't feel good at this point, but losing your 5th base twice? Seral is letting Clem get way more damage. Seral's just not got the control. And you're seeing the confidence. You got to feel this way. Remember, this is Seral now. Having lost the last 7 games in a row he's played against Clem. He's feeling helpless at this point. And even the greatest player of all time, at a certain point, it's got to break his confidence. He misclicked the Zergling there, pulled the wrong Zergling out. Widowmine still lands in the pack of the army. The drop in the back still hanging out there, seeing exactly what can go on. Hatchery on that bottom left side as well. Second starport here. Ghosts, Marines, Mines. The full production's underway. 5 bases established, 6th and 7th bases building for Clem right now. He's finally getting his 4th orbital up as well. So he's going to have more scans. Oh, Clem not watching. But of course, Clem isn't watching. All 3 of his full medevacs just get left in deep red and orange. None of them die. And I don't know if this is because Serral's lacking that killer instinct or because Clem's just basically set himself up for success right now, but nothing seems to be going wrong for him. Everything seems to be going wrong for Seral right now. Beautiful play by him. Another ready point medevac without even boosting, just casually flies away from the Hydras. And Seral is like, get out of here, man. Down 4,000 resource in the units lost. There's like 17 Widow Mines spread across the center of the map. He does set off some of them. Ling's getting into that 3rd base. Lingbane Hydra, a little bit unconfident in terms of how they're going to fight. He's going to clean these Widow Mines up, which is a nice move. Very worth doing that. The Lings in the mineral line will all get cleaned up after getting just 6 SCVs. Abducting on these medevacs would be pretty nice. I wouldn't mind that. Dude, I think he needs Infestors, though. Without Infestors, I don't know if he can really deal with this. And the army coming in from the right side as well. You got to be careful. Anytime you're just running back and forwards like this in the middle area, Clem will set up a flank of Bio Ghost on you. You got to be really careful about doing this back and forwards fighting, because Clem always out micros you in that scenario. It's just his units are very good at it if you micro perfectly. No real Terran player can micro perfectly except Clem. And Clem is consistently finding value. He's going to force a scan out up there. Nice burrow in the south as well. Serral's going to chase after these guys. Lurkadan's on the way. So I really feel like for Seral right now, Infestors have to be the magic unit. He's got 2 out. I honestly think he needs like 5 or 6. I think we need to think of like Seral versus Maru on... what's the King Sejong Station remake? What was that map called? I can't remember. Basically, it was the carbon copy of King Sejong Station. You guys know the map, but it was on like a more deserty tile set. Had big pyramids and minerals in holes in the ground sitting on it. I can't remember the name of the map. It's the one that Hero did the giant throw on. Ghosts coming forwards with Marines and Mines in the north side in the south. Infestors there. There's an Infestor behind this army in the north. As long as you got a lot of Banelings, one good Fungal could change the course of this game. Fungal boy behind. He's only got 1 Fungal. 1 Fungal could be game-changing, though. Oh, he gets scanned before he can do it. Clem is right now pushing both sides at once. Infestor tries to unburrow. He lands a Fungal, but he keeps doing it when he doesn't have the units to actually capitalize on it. He doesn't have enough units. Now he's going to lose this hatchery as well. Top right. Is he going to lose both hatcheries? Clem is pushing 2 sides at once right now and winning in both sides. Clem is right now. It's like a guy who comes back from the bar and he's like triple fisting beers. And you're like, oh, are those for me? And he's like, no, I don't. Dude, it took me 20 minutes lining up at the bar. I've got 3 beers at once. I'm going to drink them all myself at once. You can go get your own. Clem right now is being a greedy boy, and it is paying off big time. The Banelings are just getting obliterated in the bottom side as well. Yes, you killed the hatchery. Okay, he finally pushes you back. You've still got the cliff. You've still got the Widow Mines and the Libs there. The Ghosts in the north are destroying. And at this point, I think we've seen Seral kind of... I don't know if he's completely given up, but it doesn't feel like he's swinging for the win anymore. It feels like he's just trying to survive, and even that is out of the question. Clem absolutely destroys him. 5-0 in the biggest finals in StarCraft 2's history. The only time we've had a $1 million tournament. and he just overwhelms, and he didn't have to do anything too fancy in terms of the build orders, but by golly was his micro, his multitasking on point. And not just that, but his ability to macro to a late game bio ghost setup while also attacking constantly. Insanely well played. He played much more turtly on post youth to play to the strengths of that map as well, and was 2-1 in the trading against Seral the entire time. But all things considered, it just felt like Seral did not have the answers to Clem. Seral came into this tournament looking like one of his greatest forms ever, crushing everybody that wasn't Clem. To be fair, Maru put up a good fight against Seral for once in this tournament, but Clem is just on another level, and Clem has shown that seems like right now the only player that can give Clem pause is Raynor. Like, other than Raynor, I don't think there is anyone who I would ever even consider gambling on against Clem in a head-to-head right now. This man is the world championship. It's well-deserved. This is clearly the best he's ever performed at a live tournament in terms of living up to the skill we've seen online and not choking on the big stage. He's like, we used to see him micro like this and play the multitasking, but he'd miss macro, or he'd forget upgrades, or he'd blunder, he'd bungle a big engagement. We didn't see any of those big mistakes under pressure from Clem this tournament. There was so many of these moments where he's just microing 2 or 3 things at once, and you didn't feel nervous for him. Like, we used to feel nervous because we're like, oh, is he going to like slip up and make a huge mistake? He just doesn't do that anymore. This whole tournament run for Clem was the manifestation of years of practicing just straight up mechanical StarCraft and looking absolutely next level. I think the argument we could make is that Clem maybe got lucky by dodging TVTs against like Maru, Oliveira, and Bian. Maybe they were the best chances for taking him down, but he's recently been dominating guys like Bian in online tournaments anyway. So I really feel like a lot of people are still stuck in the mindset of, oh, Clem will lose if he plays Maru. I don't think he will. I think Clem and Maru maybe is like a 50-50. I don't know, but Maru hasn't looked that inspired recently. I actually think I would favor Clem, even though we haven't seen that matchup at all recently. It's crazy to say it, but Clem, he is practicing Korea before the tournament, going in. They got an Airbnb, him and Estrella and Future and Trigger and a few of these guys. They practiced for like a month or 2 there. He played every Korean online tournament. He got more practice against all the Korean Protosses and Terrans on the ladder and in the Korean tournament scene. And I think that, combined with him just building confidence over the last few years and getting more relaxed up there on the stage, has really paid off. Remember that Clem beat Maru last year in Riyadh at Gamers 8, and then he kind of choked against Raynor in the next round. He made a lot of mistakes. Raynor played very well as well, of course, but Clem didn't really play his best StarCraft. And even Raynor said, yeah, he didn't really play like himself there. He said, I've played versions of Clem that were much better than that version of Clem, and it feels like a year later, Clem finally showed up on that big stage, and I gotta say, guys, I'm just so impressed. Really well played by Clem, and it's awesome to see a player who was so hyped 4 years ago finally live up to that potential. He had a lot of haters who said, oh, you guys say Clem's the best Terran? He's garbage, he can't win. Ooh. Well, we finally got to see the manifestation of what happens when Clem actually delivers on the big stage. GG, well played, and congrats on the World Championship, Clem.